Kbands Live 148 here. Trevor Tyson with KBandsTraining.com. We've got a good at-home workout for you. Going to be using a partner with manual resisted hamstring curls to start. I'm going to give you the setup, and then we're going to get into our topic, and then we can continue with our workout. Manual resisted, you're going to sit behind a partner, put your blue ballistic band around their ankles, and basically what you're doing is you're going to be resisting on the way in, and then your buddy is going to pull you out, whether you're husband, wife, sister, brother, any combination of the two will work, because you're going to be manually giving your partner the amount of resistance that they need to fail. Make sure that you get pretty good range of motion when you're pulling out. You can't get your feet too awful straight, or that band's going to be sliding off your heels. So make sure that you find that nice comfy range of motion. You're going to feel it in your hamstrings and your calves, but be controlled and do not bounce. If you're a little bit weaker and don't have a great mind-body connection, you might find that your muscles want to bounce. All you need to do is give a little less resistance and consciously think about staying smooth and controlled. As your body gets adjusted to this type of a load, you're going to be nice, smooth, and consistent, controlling your muscles, and that's what we're going to want. But add a little bit of weight. You should do anywhere between 8 to 10 repetitions with a lot of intensity. Don't do light reps. Really add some weight and pull that body out with that deceleration. You may even get a little bit sore than normal. All right, today we've got the topic of choice: manual resistance versus normal resistance training. You know, you may do bench press, you may do pull-ups, you may do rows. There's all kinds of exercises that you can do when you're doing resistance training, but manual resistance is a little bit different. You use the strength of your partner and different techniques to really get a different feeling in your body. If you've never done this type of training before, it is awesome to work in once or twice a week, or even throughout your workouts when you're doing resistance training. If you have access to a partner, you will never feel a burn quite like manual resistance work. And what it is you're going to get, notice when the feet get in, you're now controlled, you're contracted, and you're very strong in that position. Normally, you have to disengage a little bit and allow that range of motion to come out when you're doing resistance training to get to that longer range of motion. But here with manual resistance training, your partner is pulling you out and there is nothing you can do to stop it. You work hard, and it's a deceleration based training. Rather than pushing a load, you're going to be decelerating a stronger load than you can hold. There's many different ways to do this. This is one of them. It's probably one of the easiest to get the concepts with. But if you check out some of the other Kbands live videos, you're going to see that I've showed you a lot of bicep versions that you can do with the partner. Rowing, of course. It's a little bit more difficult to target the chest just because the trunk has to be engaged standing on the ground. But overall, give this a try, and always keep in mind that a partner manual resistance is a great way to sneak in something a little bit different and take advantage of that moving buddy and get some extra work in. All right, this next exercise is going to be another version of a manual resisted exercise. That's what this entire theme is going to be. Now we've got the blue ballistic band, and the reason why you need a stronger one here, you may think I'm not as strong, I need a lighter one. Well, you actually want the stronger ballistic band because you don't really want it to flex all that much. You kind of want it to be stationary, stand its ground when you do this. Now you're going to be head to head, but it's going to be an extremely intense ab exercise if you align your hips correctly. So what we're going to be doing is notice that your hands stay stationary just by about your chin. You don't really want them to move too awful much. And you're going to hold that load so that your partner has the resistance engaged as well. Now notice each of us are keeping our hips off the ground. You're rolling your butt up and then you're actually keeping your butt off the ground all the way, and then you extend your legs. With the looser shorts, it may be difficult to see that our butts are actually off the ground, but if you can see, as you get down to a certain point, you can see that the body gives out and then your butt may hit the ground. Now if you're rolling down, the key is that you want to try to fight that level all the way to the floor as far as you can, and if your butt hits the ground, that's okay. But that is the essence of this exercise, is keeping your hips off the ground, and you are going to have to stay so engaged through your core and your hips that you're going to feel an extreme amount of burn. Now the hands are also secret behind this, because if you just do leg lifts, you're going to get a great burn, but when you do this with a resistance band up top and you have to maintain that load throughout your arms, it is going to be very, very intense. Now this specific exercise, we're using a partner, but if you don't have a partner and you just did the first exercise with hamstring curls, you can also do this with an anchor. So wrap the ballistic band around a squat rack similar to that orange band over there off to the side. If you do that there, then you're going to be able to utilize that as your anchoring point, just as we're using a partner. All right, moving into some shoulder work, we're gonna grab our level 3 ballistic band. Needs to be a little bit lighter weight. So if you've been doing this series with us and you normally are using a little bit lighter weight, I would suggest going with a 2 maybe. The 3 is very difficult even for me and Carl. So if you have been working out at home, I would suggest maybe doing a level 2 to begin. But either way, we're gonna be doing a stationary static hold, and then we're gonna be moving with the other arm. You can do this exercise with this mounted just on a squat rack, or utilize the fusion cable mounts and do this on your own. What we're doing though is we've got generally a pretty stationary position to where your partner is pulling that load while we do the static hold, which is a lot more extreme than just doing it by yourself. If you're just doing a static hold and don't have that other person pulling and activating your shoulder the whole time, that's really a big difference when you're doing this specific exercise. So you've got about 8 to 10 repetitions with the static hold where you're getting that other person forcing into your arm, and then you've got the other repetition where you're being the mover, and you've got your 8 or 10 where you're giving the resistance to your buddy. Hey, turn up the music a little bit and stick with us here. It's going to be a good round for our shoulders as we move into the final elements of the exercise. All right, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, bicep curls are some of my favorite when you're in the manual resisted area. If you're utilizing a partner, I tell you, the combination of being able to hold a static position with a changing load followed by repetitions is one of the most extreme pumps that you'll ever get. So if you're into working out and trying to get a little bit of growth in your arms, you know, it's a slow process, but hey, if you want to get some extra blood flow and really feel an exercise, let me tell you, when you're doing partner manual resisted exercises with resistance bands, it's pretty great. So in this specific exercise, looks like we're stalling just a little bit, getting something set up, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna be laying on our backs, and you're gonna have 2 fusion cables. We got level 5s there. Choose whatever level you and your partner need. If you're working out by yourself, you can do these just from the fusion cable wall mounts. Come out, utilize 2 bands from the same spot. The only part that you're gonna miss out on is the movement with your partner really rowing in. That's gonna be the difference. All right, so here we get into demo mode. Going to show you what we're doing here. So notice it's got 2 different movers. You got one that's going to move and do the bicep curl. We've got different elbow positions, wide, narrow, and a bit of a neutral angle. So make sure that you watch that as we go through, because we do a different angle either every 2 sets or every individual set. The one, your elbows will be on the ground. The other one, your elbows will be up in front of your body. And then there's one that's a bit of a neutral position. So keep the angles in mind as we rotate through the different exercises while we do these. A lot of sets here. I think we do anywhere between 6 and 7. But this is what I was talking about. So you're going to do repetitions, and then you're going to hold. You're going to have to hold that static hold, and oh man, this is when it really gets you. If you got any questions, please feel free, leave some comments below. Jump on the kbandstraining.com, send us an email, but please feel free, jump in with us. We love making these workouts for you, and hope they're being beneficial for you.